Greetings and salute. Elder Blacklight. Look, black people, you got to get serious. And you got to recognize game when game is being played on you. You got to know that the Rothschilds or the Federal Reserve, which is the UN, which is the World Banks, they just branch off into different segments and circles within circles. But there's only a few that control everything. Those that control the economics, control human behavior, unless you can recognize game and learn how to discipline your wants and desires and rise above emotions into the thinking of a God. So, I'm going to read from Message to the Black Man, page 184. In the chapter, What is Un-American? And I want Ben X and Sabir Bay and all you brothers who attach yourself to Mr. Farrakhan, all y'all. This is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. The government with its great standing armies cannot even foresee equal justice for the so-called Negroes. Why? Because we are not real American citizens. Let me read that again. The government with its great standing armies cannot even force equal justice for the so-called American, for the so-called Negroes. I got to read that again, man. My vision is blurry. The government with its great standing armies cannot even force equal justice for the so-called Negro. Why? Because we are not real American citizens. We are un-American, and by nature, we are different. Let me read that again. And we are un-American, and by nature, we are different. And by nature, we are different. I'm going to interject this into this before I continue. That the Antichrist is a contender against nature. He's anti-nature. That's why you got homosexuals and gays. That's anti-nature. And he promotes that. Know from this day on that if you are a so-called Negro, or red or black or an Indian or any member of the Aboriginal Black Nation, you are an un-American, even though you may have been born in the United States of America. You cannot be an American. Used for criminal purposes. What or why are we called un-American? It is to classify us as criminals or with crimes that we are not guilty of. They make the truth God, they make the truth God has given to us an untruth, They use it to conceal or our true intentions. But all the same time, they claim freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and religious freedom, lawful under the Constitution. Again, it is an abundantly clear to you that have eyes that America never intends freedom for her so-called Negroes. She stands in the way and opposes true freedom, justice, and equality from coming to the poor black man and women in the Western Hemisphere. She is pleased with the foolish and ignorant worship of the so-called Negroes. She does not ever want the Negro to accept the true religion, which is Islam. Why? Here in Islam, the Negro have a true God and a true friend on their side. And that means help to the poor Negroes against the open enemies, the white race. So you will see why they do not want the so-called Negro Muslim people in America. It means independence, friendship, divine guidance, and help against the devils, as it is written in the Holy Quran. Know that Allah is with Muslims. I kind of blotched that up, but I hope you get the message, because I want to say this right here now before I forget about Ice Cube's asking the president. See, most black people with a high income going to be is going to try to be Republicans, because of tax purposes. And the Democrats are supposed to be for the poor, low-income people. But it's all a game, it's all a trick. See, what it is he have taught you to work for him and not do for self, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught you to do for self. Now, they're talking about this energy, coal versus fracking versus oil, so forth. Solar energy is going to be the next big thing, and it's relatively cheap to install solar panels and get off the grid of your energy companies. But Ice Cube, with his money, could set up solar panel factories in the ghetto and employ the youth to install solar panels. Then you got another brother, Moses, that got a machine that can make water out of thin air. It would be easy to manufacture them with the help of these so-called black sports figures, black entertainers. I'm going to stop it right there and say, this is to be continued.